So I ran out of disk space. Again, a reminder, when you're using Hugging Face pipeline, the model is downloaded locally on your computer. So your .eavenv file, the virtual environment that you have, will be really huge. Do not upload it to GitHub, and maybe like delete that once you're done with the project or something, uh, just to conserve space. I just realized that I had two virtual environments set up for the same project, one for in class and one for the regular coding that I had done. But anyway, getting back into the coding, uh, yeah, so we had built an app in which like we could put the image, and we generate the caption and also the text and also display it on the website. The only thing that is left is to add like the start narrating button and stop narrating button. And to do that, what I do is like make use of P5JS speech library. This is a simple library that you can use to convert any text into speech. Uh, so I integrate that on the front end. For doing that, so what we need to do is first, all right. I forgot that like I'm creating like tip data, story text, and all that, and I never declared the variables. Yeah, this is what happens when we work with like JavaScript and Python. So let's first add those like global variables. Story text. All right. Then I need like three more variables. One for speech, the other one for start button, and then another one for stop button. All right. Like with anything else, we'll first have to import the P5JS speech. For that, let's just say speech is equal to new p5 dot speech. So this is creating the speech object. Oh, I think I forgot to import the p5.js in HTML also. Hold on, let me check if I have imported the HTML. Yeah, no, I don't import it here. I should probably, okay, since I'm importing every library here, I should import it here. For example, here, right after ML5, I need to import the CDN that I get from speech, which is this script type. Copy from there, and here. And you don't need ML5 here, but there I imported the speech library. Alright, getting back to the coding, I have it up here. Speech. Alright, once we're done with importing a new object, we need to create different buttons. We need to assign different buttons. If you remember from the milestone 1, we have two empty divs, one for start button, one for stop button. Let's create these buttons using P5.js. The way you would do it is, again, you can say let start button div is equal to document query selector, document query selector, and in there I give the ID that I had given to this div, which is essentially, don't forget the pound sign, otherwise it won't work, the selectors won't work otherwise. So there, I have selected the div start button is equal to create button, this is a function in P5.js that lets you create a button, and I'll say start narrating. Alright, as a text on that button, and then I'll assign the start button to start button div, because that's where we want it to be placed. And then let me also add like styling, CSS styling that we have for like bootstrap styling. For that we need to create start button and dot add it to class button btn primary. This is, you can get this class from bootstrap. This will create a blue button essentially, button primary. And then let's do the same for stop button. Still I say stop, here stop, 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 and I'll say stop. Instead of the blue button, let's put a red button. Again, you can get these like classes from Bootstrap. If you go to Bootstrap and go to buttons, should be somewhere here, buttons. You'll get to see like what all classes you have: primary for blue, secondary for gray, danger for red, and so on and so forth. So I'm just assigning the right like sort of class based on the color that I want to see. Alright, now we've created these two buttons. Let's write a function to like start and stop speaking on the press of these buttons. So like for doing that, I'll say start button dot mouse pressed. Let me write another function. Start is called start speaking, and then I can do the same for stop button also, and I can just like instead of I can say stop speaking, the new function. Alright, so we need to write like these two start and stop speaking functions, and these are very simple functions. So function start speaking, here if condition, I'll say if story underscore text, which is a variable in which we store the story in the setup in the draw function here, is not equal to the default text, which is waiting for story. This story. Alright, then I'll say speech dot speak story text. Start narrating the story text there. Alright, so in function stop speaking, I just say speech dot stop. Alright, that should be it. That's all the code that we need to run this like sort of file. One thing that I would want to add here right before the container class, because our canvas is attached to the navbar, is like add a break line that will give a bit of space between the canvas and navbar. Okay, so let's save everything and run the file. Uh, so here, if I go to the regular app, this is the about page. In milestone 1 we have this. Right now it is saying waiting for story, since that's the default text. Here it's saying waiting for image processing and caption. We have the start and stop button. If I choose a folder, like if I choose a test pick, let's say I don't know, let me give the fish example only since we're working with that, and then click submit. In the background you can see that the processing is happening. It will take a bit of time for it to generate the text, but once the text is generated in a bit of time, you will see the caption. There are many clownfish in the aquarium with a pink coral, and the story. You can start narrating the story now.
In the heart of a bustling aquarium, a vibrant pink coral stood proudly, its branches swaying gently with the current.
Or stop, which means both these buttons are working. Anyway, so that's the entire app.